Okay, I just produced the best outreach of all time. It's literally the best outreach you're ever gonna see in your entire life ever. I cannot stress to you how good this outreach is. And today in this video, I'm gonna break down how I made the outreach, how I went about it, my rationale of creating something at this scale. Now, if you don't know me, because you don't know me, my name is Daniel James. I run an agency where I help entrepreneurs scale their businesses with content and get more leads. And I've been able to build my business considerably by making such good outreaches that they have absolutely no choice, but not to hop on a call, but to close. I am now 5 for 5 on these super looms, okay? And I'm gonna keep doing them, and if your name isn't Alex Hormozy, I probably can close you doing this method, as long as you can benefit from my service, of course. Now, I'm gonna break down how I did this, the rationale behind it, and just how fun it was to make this kind of content. So to give you a little bit of context, Andre Huckle Jr. is the CEO of two very big businesses called ListKit and Client Ascension. I am actually in Client Ascension. I can even say this. I'm actually a coach in Client Ascension now. And he messaged me prior to me being a coach. I want to say around like October 4th. And I literally spent an entire month brainstorming, coming up with ideas, planning and shooting this outreach. And I sent it to him and he absolutely loved it. And rightly so, because I literally flew to Lebanon, which I'll get into. Okay, cool. Let's get into this outreach and how I was able to create, you know what? This masterpiece. It is a masterpiece, so I'm calling it a masterpiece, all right? Cool, let's get into it, baby. Okay, so that is an opening hook. The reason why you want to have an aggressive opening hook is that, I say this in every single one of my breakdowns, you need to stop the prospect in their tracks. You literally need to stop them in their tracks and make them take notice of what you're doing. So you can get pretty creative and pretty outlandish with this. You can pretty much do whatever you like as long as it stops them and makes them pay attention. My housemate, shout out to my housemate Alex, he suggested we could do the 20th Century Fox Andre Superloom, and it wasn't that difficult to do really. And that was a great way to open the Superloom. Frankly, I want to see if I can do this for every single Superloom that I make for people, because it just stops you in your tracks. You see your name, you feel so important. And this is the other thing that I think I want you to take away from this. Make your prospect feel special. And as corny as that sounds, like make them feel special. Make them feel taken care of. Make them feel like you went the extra mile. Because when you're making a Superloom, you actually are. So just raise their status and they'll thank you for it, okay? Make them the star of the show. Literally. I literally put Andre Superloom. He's the star of the show, and rightly so, okay? A prospect of this caliber and a prospect of this level, I always make them feel very special. Cool? Imagine what it's like dating me. Imagine what it's like dating me. That's why that department's cooking. Anyways, let's move forward. Oh my God, I am so bored. Oh my. Okay, so this is just storytelling. This is literally just storytelling. It's the transition of going from being completely bored in my life and then getting the notification and being like, oh my gosh. And funny enough, it was actually a reenactment of what actually happened. So I actually know Andre personally, and we were going back and forth in DMs, and I'd done a Superloom for one of his business partners, and then I half jokingly said, like, I wonder who's next. And he was like, oh, I'm ready. And then after that, I was like, oh my gosh. And I went to my housemates, see one of my housemates is walking past right now. I went to all my housemates, like, oh my gosh, look at this. And that's when the planning started. So it was a reenactment of what happened. And again, we're just hooking their attention. With these Superlooms, there's two levers that we're playing with: attention and expertise. But because the prospect is so big, we have to get their attention first, then we can lead with our expertise then we can talk about our expertise later. But for now, I'm grabbing his attention. That's the most important thing to do. If you send an outreach to Alex Hormozy, what's gonna be the most difficult thing about that outreach? Getting him to see it, getting him to consume it. So, outside of kidnapping someone, do whatever you can do to get their attention. Like, outside of doing things that are unethical and outside the law, why not do anything you can to get their attention? Then once you get their attention, you can lead with their expertise. That's my whole MO, and it just works so well that it's just broken formula at this point.
Days.
Okay, I have to talk about this. This is my personal favorite moment of the entire Superloom. That transition, I literally was thinking about for a month. I was like in the shower, I'd go to bed, I'd be working, I was thinking about this transition. Here, I wanted to rehook the audience and give them something very aggressive, something to stop them in their tracks. I actually showed it to a friend of mine, and they were watching it. In fact, I even take my housemates, they were watching, they all went at the same time, oh my gosh! That's the outcome that I'm looking for. I'm looking for them to be like, oh my word, that was utterly incredible. You want to stop them in their tracks, and then you want to move forward from there.
He has finally realized the time has come to execute Order 66. Yes, my lord. Consider it done.
Okay, so firstly, shout out to my housemate Arthur. I'll put a photo of him up on the screen now. Shout out to my housemate Arthur, who runs the exact same business as me, but he's much better at editing and VFX than I was. So I told him I had this idea, and he just quarterbacked it. I love that word, phraseology. He just quarterbacked it, and he was able to explain how we could do this hologram. I have absolutely no idea how he did it. I literally just shot myself at a wall saying, it will be done, my lord, and then he did the rest. So I can't actually explain how he did this because I have no idea how he did it. And it's just a bunch of editing tricks, like who gives a fuck? But the point of this is it's, again, just hooking the audience. There's a literal hologram. They're looking at a fucking hologram for a business pitch. Come on now. Okay, cool. So here, I was really proud of this. I came up with this again when I was in the shower. Or in bed, because all I do is think about my business. Okay, so you guys probably know that meme of that guy when he has like a cigarette. I think he has a cigarette in fact, I don't even think he has a cigarette, but he's like pointing crazily to the board. That was what inspired me to create this scene. So what's happening here is that obviously I have Andre, who this entire video is made for, and then I have a bunch of other people that I've done Superlooms for, and then I have some Easter eggs as well. And I was heavily pushing for the Star Wars theme. I absolutely adore Star Wars. I'm a massive sci-fi fan, so this section, although it was of course for him, a little part of, to be candid, a little part of this, or a big part of this was for myself, and just expressing myself creatively. I can't rap, I can't sing, and I can't dance that good. I can fight pretty good, but apart from that, I love to express myself creatively via video and just having fun and doing interesting things and eliciting a reaction. So this was all just about eliciting a reaction, just having fun, really. Okay, do you three idiots have any ideas for Andre's plan? Now, bear in mind, when we did this for Dan Crowley and when we did this for Evan Seach, I had to come up with everything myself.
We should shoot him a DM saying we think we can help.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so the entire point of this is I'm actually beginning to realize how much of this is actually just storytelling. So what I'm doing is I built up to a peak I built up to the big moment of the Star Wars, and now what I'm doing is I'm going back down the hill, and I'm building up to another peak. I literally didn't even know I was doing this, to be candid. I would love to sit here and say I'm some mastermind. Obviously, I did plan out this entire thing, but I didn't quite realize that I was building up to two twin peaks. So we've had the Star Wars peak. Now what we're doing here is we are explaining, it's a fun way to do exposition. If you don't know what exposition is, in movies, they will explain the plot and they'll say, he was 6 years old and that's when he realized he had superpowers. That's exposition. So I'm explaining my rationale behind doing this through myself and other characters. And the reason why I duplicated myself 3 times is because it's remarkable. You don't see this all the time. Like one of my best friends, shout out to my best friend Timmy, he messaged me and was like, the 3 Dans was elite. That was so fun to look at. And on top of that, you can have very interactive scenes because they have their own facial expression, they have their own personalities. So it makes for a very fun shot. That was the entire point of this.
Kind of flop on that one, didn't we? We weren't too much help. Not gonna lie.
So, this time, you guys are gonna come up with some ideas. Tell me, what have you guys got?
Okay, maybe we could do something about client ascension. Maybe that could work. I'm not sure.
Dude, it's already been done. We need something bigger.
All right. How about we do something about the content he's posted?
Still kind of lame. Guys, bigger. Think bigger and better. That's kind of lame. We need more from you guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Step up.
So here we're just having fun, really. We're just having fun, building the story. This is just storytelling and creating more of a wow factor and more emotion in the story. Like nothing more, nothing less.
Okay, so you're talking about going big. Fine, cool. I know that he loves Lebanon. I know that he obviously loves Lebanon. He's from Lebanon. So maybe we could do something around that. That could be potentially fun. I have an idea.
So what we're doing now is we're building the story up, because this is just flower storytelling. We're building the story up. Now, Andre is from Lebanon. If I'm not mistaken, he's American Lebanese American, however you want to say it. And I knew that going to Lebanon and flying to Lebanon would be absolutely incredible for him. So that's the entire point of me building up to this. It's a big reveal. That's what we're doing here. We're literally, I'm leading my viewer down a corridor. I'm leading them down a corridor. I'm leading them. And then I want to have a big reveal. I had a big reveal with the Star Wars, like an initial reveal. And then I put the rug over their eyes again, wool over their eyes. And then I'm leading them again. And I want to show them another big reveal. That's what we're doing here. We're just building, okay?
I have an idea. How long is the flight from Bali to Lebanon? How long is that flight, dude?
If we look here,
So the point of this is we are highlighting how much effort is going into this. That's the only reason why I mentioned it's a 19-hour flight. I'm highlighting effort. There's an excellent YouTube breakdown lady called Aprilyn, her name's like Aprilyn Alter, and she talked about this concept called, it was like effort bias or perceived effort bias. The more effort somebody puts in, the more valuable it's perceived to be by viewers, watchers, audience, customers, clients, etc. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, hey, we will fly 19 plus hours. That's the only reason why I'm doing
ChatGPT
this.
says it's about a 19-hour plus flight. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. You are going to shoot the Superloon in Lebanon. You're going to go to Lebanon and we're going to shoot it in Lebanon.
sorry? What do you mean I'm going to Lebanon to shoot it? What are you talking about? I just said this. Let me read this again for you. It says it's a 19-hour plus flight. 19 hours,
Who
man.
else is going to fly 19 hours to shoot a Superloon for one person? No one. Which is exactly why we're going to do it. You're going to go to Lebanon, no questions asked. This is what
This
we're
must
doing.
be a joke. All of you are completely insane. Why am I the only rational person here thinking that this is a completely absurd idea?
You two, pack his...
Perfect. So again, what we're doing here is we are just building the legend, making it more fun, making it more of a story for him. Because we wanted to think, are they really going to go to Lebanon? Curiosity, we're hooking his attention. And in fact, there's one point that I want to make here. This highlights the importance of effective This highlights the importance of effective, excuse me, let me just get this up for a second. Okay, cool. So this also highlights the importance of having, of doing storytelling and effective scripts properly. If I hadn't scripted this out effectively, there's a 0% chance I would have been able to do this. You need to have a script when you're creating something this convoluted, this complex. You can't just come up with it on the fly. So you'll see here that I literally mapped out absolutely everything I was going to do, all the different holograms, all the things I was going to say, the apartment, what kind of shot it was. And this is what made it far easier for me to do. If you, again, like if you don't script this, you can't do it. So like, if you are ever going to be making superlooms or something of this level of complexity, you need to be able to just map out, okay, this is the shot, this is the sequence, this is the description. And then once you do that, it makes it so much easier to shoot, because otherwise you're just running around blind and you'll hate your life. So planning really saved me here. You can see that I mapped out the script, and I also mapped out all the shots, literally all the shots. Every single shot I was going to take, I mapped it out. And when I was in Lebanon, which I'll get to, it made my life a lot easier because I was running around like a headless chicken. And when I was, even when I was shooting in Bali, like it made my life so much easier. So learn to script. I've been writing scripts for quite some time now, and it really paid dividends. All right, back to the video.
His bags for Beirut, Lebanon. He's going to go tomorrow. This is what we're going to get done. We made it all the way.
Okay, so that is the hook, and the next part is me in Lebanon. Now, before I even get to this, there's actually one point I want to make. A couple of people have spoken to me and messaged me asking if this is an AI or a green screen. This is not AI or a green screen. I actually picked up my bags and went to Lebanon. It cost me 2,000 USD, and I had to fly from Bali to Abu Dhabi and Abu Dhabi to Lebanon, and I landed in Lebanon at 6 a.m. But the reason why I did that is because nobody else would. 99.9% of people wouldn't even do this, and then the 0.01% that would do it would use a green screen. But I don't do that. I go the extra mile. I'll do things that other people won't do. And that's been my whole MO for my entire life. Like, in fact, I even want to like move away from the superloom for a second and just talk about like mentality for a second, okay? Nobody likes work. Nobody likes putting in the effort. Nobody likes doing the things that others won't do. But I will go through what other people aren't willing to go through. I will do things that other people are not willing to do, include flying to Lebanon. Yes, so I picked up my bags and I went. And of course it's gonna work. Think about that. Who else is going to do that? I think I must be like one of like 100 people on planet Earth that is willing to fly to another country at the opportunity to close someone. Not a current client, not someone that's paid me in the past, not someone I had a call with, someone that said, I'm ready, like SpongeBob. That's literally all I got. I'm ready. He could have just been being nice, who knows? But I didn't care. I didn't say to myself, oh, what if it doesn't work? What if it does? What if I put in the work? What if I just do things that other people won't do? I'll probably get results that others won't get. That's been my whole MO. I will literally do things that others won't do, and then I'll get results that other people won't get. So yeah, it's not AI, it's actually a green screen. That's the Lebanese flag. This is actually a mosque called Mohammed Al Amin Mosque. In about 5 minutes from me recording this, a security guard told me to fuck off, so I had to dip. And for the record, I'm gonna be releasing a vlog, if I haven't already, of this entire process. So yeah, you'll get to see everything.
It's a Lebanon. Andre, I literally flew 15 plus hours just to shoot this video for you. And no, this is not a green screen, this is not AI. Okay, look. See? It's all real. That's the Lebanese flag. We are actually in Lebanon. So, in this video, we're going to be doing 2 key things for you. Firstly.
Okay, so obviously I'm explaining I'm in Lebanon, etc. But when you do outreach in general, whether it's a superloom or it's a cold email, make it all about the prospect. The prospect only cares about themselves. There's a great Daniel Fazio video that I feel like I'm recommending every 15 seconds these days called The 5 Laws of Marketing. Watch that video after you binge all my content. In that video, the very first point he makes is the prospect only cares about themselves, and rightly so. The prospect doesn't know you, and if they do know you, their time is valuable. When somebody reads your email, or when somebody watches your Loom, they're literally expending finite life points that they will never get back. So you better make it worth their while. You better explain in granular detail why this is actually something that is going to help them in their business, in their life, whatever it may be. Don't you dare send, I'm getting passionate, don't you fucking dare send an outreach to someone that doesn't explain how you're going to help them and how it's all about them. I will literally swim the Atlantic Ocean to highlight to my prospect how far I'll go to them, okay? Make it about them. And the reason why I said we're gonna do two things for you is because I want to make him known that this is about him. This is his video. All this is for you. You, okay?
Breaking down how you can scale both your personal brand and your two key businesses with very little effort on your part. And secondly, giving you a piece of home throughout the video too. So we're going to be hitting up some of Lebanon's most beautiful spots. And if this isn't the best outreach you've ever seen in your life, in fact, I already know it is the best outreach you've ever seen in your life, but if it isn't, me and Ali, my new friend Ali, me and Ali, the fisherman, we will hop in that water. Let me show you the water. You see that water right there? Me and Ali dedicated to the cause. I spoke to him about it a little bit earlier. Me and him will swim all the way to Florida. Ali, won't we do that? Yes. See? Yalla. We will swim to Florida if this isn't the best outreach you've ever seen in your life.
Okay, so the point of that is that, again, that's just a fun hook. I'm just getting him to be on board in the video. That guy was a random fisherman. Literally, he's a random fisherman. One thing that I've been blessed with is the ability to talk. So I was recording my video and he had a massive fish, and I'll put it in a vlog, and we ended up chopping it up, chatting shit for like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, Ali, be in my video. So we were just having fun with it. And I just knew it would make for a funny hook. Me going, Ali's dedicated to the cause. I just knew it would be funny. And yeah, shout out to Ali. Hopefully he's in Lebanon catching fish right now.
After doing far too much analysis into your personal brand and current content system, we were able to find some absolutely massive opportunities that would take your personal brand to the moon. But firstly, let's look at your current situation. Your LinkedIn is...
Now, okay, so what I've done here is I've explained the opportunity that I see, okay? Then what I'm doing is if I'm, for the record, I'm not the world's best salesperson, okay? I have a lot to learn about sales. But sales is quite simply put, current situation, desired situation, bridge is your product or service, and why they can't get there already. That's it. So I started by analyzing his current situation, so then I can effectively sell him on his future state and then make my service the bridge. So when you're doing, not when you're doing outreach, because you can't always do this, but on sales calls and just in general, learn to understand more about your prospect's current situation. Because if you know where they're trying to go and where they're at, you'll be able to sell them a lot better, okay? Cool. Shout out to my sales coach, Drew.
absolutely full of great stories, lessons, and your teachings about operations and just being a CEO. Your YouTube, on the other hand, is solely made up of case study videos from Client Ascension. Now,
so what I've done here is I've created contrast. Now, I said your LinkedIn's full of great stories, you're doing this, you're crushing on LinkedIn, but your YouTube, and have you guys ever heard the phrase like a shit sandwich? Or like, maybe not a shit sandwich, but like, essentially you put like good, shit, good. Now I haven't done good, but I led with the good, and then I said, hey, this isn't so good. And it makes it hit harder.
of course, this is great for driving people down the funnel, but Andre, you are missing a big opportunity here. You are the CEO of two multi-seven-figure businesses. That literally puts you in the top 0.0000001% of business owners on earth, especially before your 30s. And I know I'm correct because your starter story exploded because you have unique insights and stories. The stories you tell on LinkedIn and even on your coaching calls would be absolutely perfect for long form content.
Okay, so what I've done here is I've explained how easy the opportunity is. I've said, we've already got the material. You're already doing this. This isn't going to be a big thing. This isn't going to be something you're going to have to think about and you're going to have to do. No, like we've already got the material, sir. Just Allow me and my team to curate this for you, and the rest is history. That's the point I'm trying to make. And that's very powerful for people.
For example, you literally told me the story of how your former employer looked at your car because he wanted to see if you were organized and would be a good fit for the job. When I'm hiring people, I literally think of that story. Those are the type of stories that business owners would benefit a lot from. And as a result, your personal brand would explode. I mean, let's not let Daniel Fazio have all of the fun.
Okay, so what I've done there is I've used an example of a story that he's told. Firstly, specificity. Specificity is the game. The more specific it can be, as long as it's relevant to his business and not random specificity, the better it will be. So get increasingly more specific in your outreach, as long as it's to their business. And I told a personal anecdote. That's actually true. He genuinely told me that story, and I actually do think about that story when I hire people. And it just shows that I'm paying attention. And then I've compared it to one of his business partners who has a very, very big personal brand. And that's what.
In fact, let's beat him. Andre, would you focus? I know the Nicholas Museum behind me is beautiful, but I need you to focus here. Okay, so I know you're probably thinking, how does this actually work in practice? How do we actually get this done? No problem. Simply put, you just share the key lessons and insights that you've gained from being a multi-seven-figure CEO. For example, this guy here is a guy called Paul Daly. He was the CEO of many of Iman Gadzhi's businesses. And on his channel, he simply just shares the key insights and his best lessons from being a CEO. And he also talks about his faith a lot in his content, which I know would make a lot of sense for you too.
Very cool. So this scene, firstly, I opened it with the Nicholas Sursot Museum because it's a very beautiful museum. It's a beautiful, beautiful building in the middle of Beirut, Lebanon. So give him a piece of home. The next thing that I did is I offered a comparison. So this was, not to my own horn, but this was actually a really good comparison because this guy is a CEO of very big businesses. I'm not sure if he was the CEO of Iman Gadzhi's businesses, but I know he was. And this guy talks about operations, he talks about his beliefs around AI, how to be an effective CEO, how to be an effective leader, how to do operations, etc. And then on top of that, it's very parallel because he talks about his faith. I know it makes sense for Andre, so I was like, look, we can literally model what we could do off of this guy. Like, this guy is already the blueprint. We can just follow what this blueprint is. Obviously, we're making it custom to him. But what we're doing is we're giving further visual aids and we're giving further examples. And that just makes it so much easier to understand and not have to fabricate it and think of it in your mind. When you can see an example in 4K in real time, live flesh and blood, it makes it so much easier.
And he has been able to grow his personal brand a lot. And we can eclipse him because he doesn't have an absolute maniac behind him, making sure that he gets the best result possible. With all that being said, let's go to the north. I've heard there's some absolutely beautiful spots there. Let's go. Now, because this is quite literally the best outreach you've ever seen in your life, I've already done all the work for you. Firstly, you could make a video about how to utilize AI in 2026 when building your team. I know that you have a very strong opinion about getting more from your current staff with AI. And a lot of B2B founders and entrepreneurs aren't doing that effectively. So that's a big lesson that would work very well immediately. Secondly, you could make a video about how you hit 100K MRR in 87 days. That is frankly ridiculous. It's remarkable. And there'll be a lot of lessons that you can share for B2B founders that will be very helpful for them. With all that being said, when we have our onboarding call, I'll be able to have a lot more ideas. I know you're probably thinking,
what I did in that scene was, it was just ideas. Things I'd seen, things I'd come up with, and that was me leading with my expertise. That was me sharing, okay, this is what I've seen, this is what I understand, and this is what I think would work well for you. Obviously, if you're going to actually close your people, then you need to have some expertise, you need to have some skill behind you, you need to have some level behind you. So that was me just highlighting that I actually can do the things that I say I can do. And then at the end of it, I said, when we have our onboarding call, I'll have more ideas. The reason why is because that's just a very confident way of saying, let's do this. I know we can do this, like when we have our onboarding call. And because my outreach is so good, I can be this aggressive in what I'm saying, okay? What's so funny is I've realized this, the more aggressive your outreach is, the more aggressive you can be in your messaging. And by aggressive, I mean the better.
When we have our onboarding call, I'll be able to have a lot more ideas. I know you're probably thinking, Dan, this sounds cool, or even Dan, this sounds great, but I've already got so much on my plate already. And Andre, I completely get where you're coming from, but all the most prominent business figures are putting more time and energy into their content because it scales infinitely.
I'm doing two things. So firstly, I'm objection handling. People that are as busy as him, the number one objection that I'm gonna get is, can I be bothered? That's literally the objection I'm gonna get. Oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, does this make sense? Oh, is this gonna be fun? Like, that's literally what I'm thinking. Oh, I've got so many things on my plate. So I'm handing that objection off the bat. I'm handing the objection of, I know you're busy. I completely get it. But regardless, I'm gonna make it work in your schedule. And then what I did is I used authority figures who earn even more money than he does and said, hey, they're investing so much money into their content. I used Alex Hormozy, he's the biggest business guy on the earth, right? I said, Alex Hormozy is putting more into his content, so you probably should too. Boom, it's an easy sell.
You already know this, and you've already seen it because your business partner Dan Fazio's done it, and your other business partner Dan Crowley is now investing in his content, and we're doing it for him, and he's super happy. The fact of the matter.
Cool, so what I've done there is I've just given social proof, frankly. This isn't that loaded with social proof, but I just sprinkled that in. His business partner works with us and he's super happy, so it's just easy, like why not add that?
Is you should have an absolutely massive personal brand. You should be giving talks on stage with the likes of Ed Milet and Cody Sanchez and even Alex Hormozy because you have the experience. And people who are not even 10% as qualified as you are doing so right now, simply because they invested in their personal brand. But the overarching point is, Andre, I want to be your YouTube partner and help you scale to $2 million a month with your personal brand and with your two key operations. Your business partner is already working with us and he's loving the work that we're doing with him so far. My team and I will do absolutely everything to make sure you win, including flying to Lebanon if we have to make you happy, because we have that unreasonable hospitality. With all that being said, send me your login details. Let's make this happen.
Cool, so what I've done there is I've just given an ending hook, strong hook of, hey, oh, and in fact, boy, before I even said this, Unreasonable Hospitality is a book that he loved. I get that information, so I put it in. But we're ending here on a strong hook saying, give me your login details, let's make this happen, let's do this. It's confident, it highlights competence, and it just makes you one of one. It makes you the people that people want to work with. I hate all of you guys. I hate you all. A fun ending hook, just a nice way to end it. And then
Phase 3 is complete. Begin preparation for the next phase.
yes, my lord, we will begin preparation for the next phase. Nice. So that ending hook was quite simply me just teasing it. Well, kind of teasing it, but me just having a nice way to end the video and then make them make them remember how much effort went into it. In psychology, there's a phenomenon where people most typically remember the peak and the end. So everybody will have different peaks. For me, the peak is a transition. For some people, it was the 3 people. For him, it was probably going to Lebanon. For some other people, it would be the Star Wars bit, right? So they remember the peak, they remember their favorite moment, and in the end, that will just stick in their head. So we want to end with a nice, strong hook where it's me saying, prepare for the next phase. It's still remarkable, and it keeps it in your mind. So yeah, that's the outreach, and that's the full analysis. The overarching point I'm trying to make here is that when it comes to outreach for people that are absolute whales, you need to do more. You need to do more, you need to work harder, and you need to set yourself apart. Don't be that person that pitches a whale, Alex Hormozy, with low effort shit outreach. And what's so ironic is that because they are being hit with such crap all the time. The second you hit them with something that's compelling, different, and high effort, they always respond. It's actually easier to get a response out of those people than the people that are smaller. Like, it genuinely is, as long as your outreach is good enough. So yeah, that is it from me. I had an absolute blast making this. This is honestly one of, how do I phrase this? This is one of the things I'm most proud of in my entire life. I haven't been in business for that long, and I've started and I've failed businesses, and I've started and I've failed businesses for so many years. And I always wanted to produce, like, I've been doing this for a while. Like, I produced an ad for like one of my businesses and when I was having fun years ago, but I've always wanted to just push myself creatively. And business is so important to me, and this is one of the most important, if not the most important moment of my business so far. So yeah, this was a really big moment for me. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to top it and if I can top it, but thank you so much for watching. And yeah, this is just the beginning of a very, very big and beautiful journey. Okay, watch one of these videos here because my content's the fucking best and it needs to be pushed out more. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye.